Hi, I'm Tash from Heart and Design. Here on my channel, I hope to provide a safe space for everyone to learn art, no matter what stage you're at. Yes, that includes you. I appreciate you for clicking through to this video, and I really welcome you to the Heart Tribe. Please subscribe, like and comment, or share if you haven't already. It really helps to get my videos seen by other newbie artists out there. Today we're going to colour in with colouring pencils this ice cream. So the things you'll need, you need some sketching paper, you'll need your pencil and eraser to draw the main image out, you will need the download sheet to get this picture, or you can just follow it from the video. You need some colouring pencils in the shades that are on the image. So I don't really think you don't need to worry about which brand or anything like that, but I do have Derwent Colour Soft here, and I have Castle Arts Colour Soft. You just need a couple of pinks, one or two pinks, like a kind of creamy brown colour and a very light colour if possible, but honestly if you just have one sort of browny colour it's fine. You just do when you shade it, you just do a soft coat and then you go in heavier to do any darker shading, and it's as simple as that. Just how heavy you press can change your values. You don't need different shades. But let's get started. I think I'm going to start on the actual waffle cone. So move those to the side. Oh, you'll also need one of these, which is a blending pencil. They're really useful, and I will show you why in a moment. And you might want to have a burnisher, which I will tell you about in a moment as well. You will want to have a highlighter pen, a fine liner pen in black if you want to go over the final drawing again, but you can just do that with your original pencil and just go over the lines you drew. Now the first thing I do is I use a kneadable eraser just to rub the lines away a little bit. I still want to be able to see them, but I don't want them to be showing up too much. So that is the first thing that I do. Just bring that over a bit so my other camera can see it. Okay, good. So I'm going to get the waffle cone colour that I've picked out. Oh, I seem to have two there. Why have I got two? I think that was a brown. There we go. They were browns for when I do the chocolate chips. Okay, so I've got this colour here that is my waffle cone colour. Now what I'm going to do, although I have gone in straight lines to do that point, pressing really lightly, and I'm holding the pencil towards the end rather than towards the front. So I'm just going in the areas that are waffle coloured, and I'm actually going round in circles, because that way you don't get any streaking as such. You don't see lines that you've coloured in, and you really do not want to be colouring in holding the pencil here and going in, because that's when you get lines, and we don't want that. So we're holding it far back and we're just guiding it into those areas. We do the detail later. We're just going in and laying down our first colour like that. Okay, now we are going to go in with this lighter colour just now, while there's not much colour down, to do the highlights, because in a bit we'll be going around those highlights with the darker pencil to fill in the gaps. This is where that lighter colour is on the cone, where the highlights are. So I'm just doing that now. It's not overly obvious, but it will be when I go in and do the darker colouring after we've done some blending. Okay, and it has kind of brought out the squares a little bit, hasn't it? So we've done that. Now I'm going to move on to the actual ice cream itself. I'm going to do the light colours first, because it can be harder to get those light colours back in after you've gone dark. So I'm going to do light pink here, light pink all the way over here. It's about 8 PM here now, and the seagulls are making a noise, and it's starting to get quieter, but I can hear people sort of banging around in their gardens, clearing away from the day. So if you can hear anything, that's all that is. My back door's open. I've got all the lights shining now on us, so it can get a bit hot under these lamps. Right, so that's the lighter pink done. I'm going to go in and do the darker pink all around. Now again, I'm holding the pencil far away, and I'm just coming in and colouring the rest of the ice cream. Okay, stay away from that lighter colour. Although it looks the same, it isn't. And when we burnish it in a minute, when we blend it in a minute, you'll see that it's not. Try and get a bit more pigment down, and that will help us to see the difference between the lighter pink and the darker pink in a minute. Try and get more of that strong pigment out. I'm just going to move that out of the way a minute just while I get in. I'm also just going to move this around. I don't know why, but it seems to have a bit of a pattern underneath the paper, which is strange. Okay, so I'm going in there. You can start to see how it is a bit darker. Can you see? It seems to be, I don't know where that pattern's coming from. It's not from underneath there, because I've got another piece of paper here. I thought it was the table. What I might do is just put another bit underneath. We'll see if that helps. Maybe it's just not thick enough and I'm picking up the wood of the table. Yeah, there we go. I must be picking up the wood strokes of the table. So don't do that. Make sure you've got a nice flat surface. It seems to have been fine on my other tutorials, but maybe the paper's getting a bit thin. Okay, so I'm just going again over the bits that are darker, making sure that it's very obvious those bits are darker. Okay, and that is what will make it 3D, having that value of a light pink and a dark pink. There we go. Right, so go. So then this is the blender. I'm now just blending these pencils in. You can see the pigment is going a lot smoother. It's kind of, it's not looking so patchy. I call it patchy. Patchy colouring pencil. See, it smooths it all out, and this is what professional artists do when they're doing detailed colouring pencil artwork. This is obviously an illustration rather than a piece of art really, but yeah, we're using similar tools so that we can get a similar effect. Going in and just making it all smooth out and look nice. I'm going to do the same down here, but it's going to be a bit difficult because I want to go in and smooth out and blend out the insides of the waffle, but I still want that light colour to stay there. But in a minute we're going to go in and darken it up in just the section, so it will make sense, and then we'll just be able to blend over the whole thing like that and it won't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to get my darker brown again out of the waffle browns that I have, and now I'm going to come in, and as you can see, because I've blended underneath, it gives me a much better surface to come in and colour those squares in. Now what I'm going to do is make sure that I leave some of the edges around the edge and nice and pale, and that will help to make the waffle pattern come out. So I'm just working my way down. I'm going to do that all the way down, and the differences of the darks and lights is really good. That will be what makes it stand out. It will give it its 3D-ness. So don't worry about being perfect with this. Most of the time when you're not being perfect, you know, you're making a realistic picture, and that's what we want to do. So we're going in. Hang on a minute. I just need to free up some space. And hopefully we can carry on recording on my other camera. It's just decided to stop, so hopefully we can carry on recording. Let's see. Oh, I lost the camera. No, we're not going to be able to record the whole thing on that one. That's fine, we'll leave it. Better clear up some space on my phone. Okay, so we're just going in and making a few waffle shaped squares, make sure that they're kind of roughly in line, but please don't worry about them being perfect, because nothing in the world is perfect, and it wouldn't look right if you did it perfect. It wouldn't look real. Whereas if you look now, because it's not perfect, you can see lots of light shades and dark shades, and it really, yeah, it really helps. There we go, all done. Just want to make those a bit bigger, because they are a bit bigger on that edge as it's turning round. Okay, so we've pretty much done the second layer on there. I'm going to go in now on the second layer on the ice cream, and this is when the colours really start to pop, because we've done our first layer that was blended. So now we're just going to come in and go over the rest, and it will make it really pop and come out really smooth if you do that. Okay, go round. There we are. That's it. Yeah, great. Now we have lost some of that lighter pink from over here, and I don't think, no, we're not going to be able to get it back. I am going to go over the lighter pink here, otherwise it doesn't look very realistic. There we are. It's a bit too light. You know, it should just be like a couple of shades lighter than the ice cream. Otherwise it doesn't look right. Okay, so we're getting there. Now what I'm going to do is blend again, just to make sure it is all smoothed out again with that second layer. I'm really filling in the tooth of the paper. Just going to do that. Okay. I actually want to come in and do a bit more shading here to create some darkness where the ice cream is around the edges at the bottom, because that really will. And if you've got a sharp point to your colour, then use that to your advantage to get some real dark shades in. Yeah, there we are. Wherever it's kind of meeting at a point, you could have like a darker shade in. And although that was supposed to be lighter, that there where I'm doing now, I'm going to make it darker. Let's go for it and have some real nice difference in value. Okay, where it's light, you'll have some dark underneath. That makes it realistic. So we want a bit more of that in there. Yeah, there we are. Love it. Okay, we don't really need to do any more blending with that. I think we're where we wanted to be. I'm just going to see if I can go in with this highlighter, see if in my eyes, yes, it does make a bit of a difference. I like that. I'm just going to go in with that slight different colour underneath, and I'm actually using the coloured pencil to blend it. You don't so it won't need blending. I'm pressing quite hard, and that's blending it for you. You don't really want to use your coloured pencils to blend, press hard on, because you'll be wasting your coloured pencil. That's why we use the blender. You just get as much pigment off your coloured pencil as you can, and then do the rest with the blender. Right, so at this point we've got to do the extra bits of the ice cream. Let's get those done. The toppings. So we'll do some in a light brown. Now I am going to use the points for these because we need a sharp little point to make the chips, the chocolate chips. Have some darker brown ones and some lighter brown ones, and I think that will make it nice and realistic. Now I'm just putting a bit of colour down. I'm not really worrying about what shape it is, because when we go over it with pen in a minute, you'll see it will make it pop anyway, so it's fine. There we go. I think we're pretty much done. I'm going to get my liner pens. So I did use an 8 and a 3. Once you've blended it, it does make the surface kind of slidey. It's filled in as quite a lot of the tooth of the paper, so it's difficult to get the pen to grab hold of it. So I'm just going to move that to the side a minute. We've got our drawing, so we know where everything is. You don't need to be looking at that so much. So what I would suggest is getting a pen that's definitely going to work for you, that has enough. This is a number 8, it's quite a thick one. I was using a number 3, but unfortunately it just wasn't going down very easily for me, and you weren't able to see it very clearly, so I had to stop using that one. Right, so yeah, and then we come in and do the lines. I'm kind of rounding them a little bit just because the cone is round and it kind of just gives it that curved feel, and we can do that with those squares. It's fine because we just did them roughly. Now this is a part that you don't actually have to do. You could just go over it instead of using a liner pen. You could just go over it with your pencil again, just pressing quite firmly to get the shape in that you want. Right, so this one swings around here like that, and then we've got that one coming down there. This shape came around like that, and this was a little one there, and I'm going to come round and bring it to a point there. So that's finished. I hope you enjoyed it. You can always extend it in different ways, different colours, types of ice creams. I'm so sorry about the car out there. It's my neighbour revving the engine. He's got an old vintage car and I think he has to rev the engine every night to make sure it's running. Anyway, so there we are. Ice cream cone. I hope you enjoyed that. Take care guys and have a great day.